Great guests on the show tonight, plus a chance to meet the man behind Mrs. Brown's Boys. No wig, no dress. He looks completely different. Wonder what he sounds like.
I sound completely the feckin' same, you lumpy. Now start the feckin' show.
Let's start the show! You're very kind. We have got a packed sofa for you tonight. Pop princess and queen of the X Factor, Cheryl Cole is here. Miami Vice legend and star of Django Unchained, Don Johnson is on the show. Yeah. Hilarious comic John Bishop will be here. Yeah. We've got the man behind Mrs. Brown. Yes, Brendan O'Carroll will be joining us later. Plus, we will have music from the one and only, the brilliant Chrissie Hynde, everybody. Yeah. Woo. Now, Don Johnson, of course, shot to fame in Miami Vice. It's good, isn't it? I've been playing this all day. I might stop playing it now. Now, there's a picture of Crockett and Tubbs in action on a drugs bust. Ooh, now, apparently they're about to arrest a woman with a suspicious package up her skirt. It's me, Warner! Miami Vice was made in the 80s, and it was such a different time. You know, big phones, crazy fashions, and state-of-the-art computers. Now, in fairness, it looks rubbish, but you could still get porn on it. You could. Yeah. You all remember printing that out. Now, I'm going to be talking to John Bishop about his unusual pet. Yes, John adopted a pig that had somehow escaped. And the thing is, pigs do it all the time. Did you see the pig that jumped from a truck in China this week? Did you see this? Now, calm down, everyone. Now, I know it doesn't look good, does it? But, in fact, the pig was fine. La-la, la-la. Oh, isn't that nice? Happy ending. And, of course, the pig became a local hero and they had a big party to celebrate. Aww. Delicious. I'm going to be chatting to Cheryl all about her famous tattoo. Oh, I know. That tattoo, let me tell you, took 3 days to create. Can you imagine that poor tattooist spending all those hours staring at Cheryl Cole's bum? But let's get our first guest on! Bishop to Queen Sofa, it's John Bishop! Yay! Hello, sir. Very nice to see you. Have a seat, too. Please welcome everybody to Don Johnson! So smooth, so suave. Hello, sir. Very nice to see you. Have a seat, too. And I got Cole from Newcastle. It's Cheryl Cole! Hey! Beautiful. So ladylike. I'm bringing it down. Very good. Now, quite a diverse group tonight, because we've got John from Liverpool, Cheryl from Newcastle, Brendan from Dublin's coming on later. All right. What I'd really like to say to John Johnson is, good luck with that. Have you been attempting to talk backstage?
Just the bare minimum.
Can you make out what they're saying?
More or less. So far, so good.
Okay, yeah. Good. That's
you
good.
understood the bum tattoo pretty well.
Yes. It's hard to miss.
No problem understanding that.
It's not like a lucky shamrock, is it? It's like, oh, that's a...
I told her that I was promised a viewing to come and do the show.
Well, no, he's had one. I saved you the trouble, Cheryl.
Thank you.
I'm a sweetheart. And Don Johnson, we're very pleased to have him here, but also we're very pleased we've got the right Don Johnson.
Oh,
because
yeah.
there are loads of them, aren't there?
Tons. There's probably 50 outside the studio now.
Yeah, waiting to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Luckily, you were first in the queue.
I had an interesting experience one time. An African-American fella came up to me and he goes, guess what? My name is Don Johnson. And I went, oh, that's great, good. He says, no, for real. And he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out his driver's license, and sure enough, it says on there Don Johnson. And I said, that's great. How does that work for you? And he says, oh, my God. He says, I get restaurant reservations, I get sporting events, I get theater tickets. Oh, it's fantastic. And I said to him, I said, well, what happens when you show up? He said, well, I just tell him I look a lot different on TV.
In terms of doppelgangers, you met I've seen this picture, it's incredible. Where was this guy?
This was in Dubai. I went over to Dubai to do a gig, and the radio station said, we've got somebody who looks like you, but we don't want to bring him in, it'll be awkward, it'll be embarrassing. So I was expecting, like, you know, a black guy or a black dwarf or something to come and sit. And then he walked in, he looked more like me than I do. You know what was great
Is
about...
that you on the right?
That's me on the right, yeah.
Okay.
The older looking of the two. But what was great is that he said the same thing in Dubai. He's used it to get restaurants. But he said, I've pulled girls. He said, I've pulled girls saying that I'm you, which I've just gone, that is fantastic, because now, if I ever have an affair, it's not me. It's just him.
Now, Cheryl Cole, you've been away. It seems like you've been away, but now you're back with a vengeance, young lady. Because the new song, Crazy Stupid Love, it's been played all over the radio now, but it's been released properly on the 20th of July.
Right, yeah.
And this one is you and Tiny Temper.
It is.
But this is from the new album.
Yes.
Now, when's that out?
The album's actually not out till later in the year.
Later in the year?
Late November time.
Late November.
I want to have a couple of singles out, get me feet back into it.
And what's it called, the album?
The album's called Only Human.
Only Human. Okay, were you hypnotised and that's the key word or something? When she says only human, you will scream. Why only human? Because...
I actually had a long time off. The last time I was on, I did a tour just after the last time I was on here, alone, and then I went straight in and did a tour with Girls Aloud after the 10-year reunion. And then I just was exhausted, and I seriously needed... I hadn't had time off in 10 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I literally said, look, I need a year to myself just to remember normal stuff, spend time with the family. I've got a poorly dog, you know, I just wanted to spend some normal time. And I went through a lot of stuff. The album's got a lot of stuff on there. And, yeah, Only Human was most fitting for what the album stands for.
Okay.
In America, we call that rehab.
We wouldn't like to say where she was. Hey, Crazy Stupid Love, you've probably heard it on the radio, but here's a little taster from the video. When you turn around and do that dancing, you suddenly realise how big that tattoo is. Have you added to it? Is that the same size?
It is from mid-back all the way down.
Wow. Oh, there it is again. Tom Johnson noticed. And was it always going to be that big, or was that always the plan, or did it just spread?
You know what's funny? After...
he made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then it he kept going.
Is it like one of them, you look in the mirror and they go, does my arse look big in this tattoo?
No, it was after I got sick, I had, after I got malaria, I wrote you call it bucket list, I call it a fucket list. And I just wanted to do everything I wanted to do. And, you know, life's short. And, and I changed my perspective, and I always wanted a big tattoo.
Is that a bit of the tattoo I can see there?
So this is a different one.
Well, that's a different tattoo. OK. Oh, no, I just want... Because it... It's not my fault. It's right there. And this is a vulgar question, but I will ask it. Okay. No, it's not that vulgar. No. But three days it took to do it.
Yes. 3 sessions.
3 sessions. So how much did that cost?
Well, the guy that did it is actually an exceptional artist.
Yes.
Like, he's not just a tattooist, he's an artist.
He's a lucky bastard, that's what he is.
Yes, he's very good.
An artist with a butt fetish.
He's very good. He's very good at roses.
Yeah.
I how much was it?
It was worth it.
You're not telling us how much it was?
He was worth it.
But is it in the thousands?
Yeah.
Could you buy a car for that?
A small one, maybe.
A small car? Yeah. New or second-hand?
You do realise that many people would have paid you to do it to you. Not to pay him anything.
And Don, given, because you have, you know, you've had quite a wild past. You've been through periods of wildness.
Really?
Have you escaped without a tattoo?
No ink. I didn't, I couldn't decide on anything that I wanted to live with forever. I had that problem with women for a long time.
I'm sure.
Easy. I'm happily married now for 15 years.
Well done. Well, if you'd like a tattoo, Cheryl, dab hand.
Yeah?
No, seriously, give her a needle and some ink, she's off.
Let me think on that.
No, we've got you tattooed the guy who tattooed you.
I did.
This is you tattooing Nico. And now this is what you tattooed on him.
See, that's how it started.
So, what is that, sunglasses? Or glasses?
It wasn't intended to... Well, he wears glasses.
Okay.
Okay, so the idea was his signature look is quite known, and he wears big, thick glasses. They kind of look like aviators in the end.
Yeah.
My bad. But then a heart, because I think he's got a really special heart.
Yeah.
My initials, because I did the tattoo.
Oh, is that your initials at the end?
CC.
Oh, I thought it was you trying to get the pen to work. I thought it was... You know, the post office. Is there ink in this thing? Now, Cheryl, very quickly, you've got to say, we are delighted you're back doing the X Factor. Seriously, I think everyone is really pleased to settle back on it. But given how mean they've been to you, I guess the question, why are you doing it? Why have you said yes?
Now that Simon's back, I mean, honestly, I just couldn't stand any more of the grovelling. It was becoming uncomfortable. I thought I would just help out a friend a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And so you started filming already?
Yeah, we did 2 days in Manchester already.
And all right?
All right.
Yeah.
Feels like I've never been away. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. A little bit of frost. Louis?
Oh, Louis, God love him. But that's all right. Wait, are you off with Louis?
Well, we've never been on, to be honest.
We look forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the weird thing, because I think it's your youngest son, Don. You've been in the business for, you know, so many years. And yet, is it true that up until recently, he did not know what you did?
Yes, well, I think he was around 6 at the time, 6 or 7. But I was making a film called A Man's World, and I played a hairdresser in it. And my then 5 or 6-year-old son came to visit me on the set. So, P.S., a couple of years later, he's sitting in class, and the teacher's going around the room asking them what their fathers did for a living. And he said, "Oh, my father's a hairdresser." Yeah.
Pretty sure he's not.
Well, I don't keep a lot of things around the house. I don't You wouldn't know that I'm in show business if you came in my house. I don't have photos of me with, you know, other actors or stuff like that. I kind of leave it at the stage door.
And one of your children, one of your daughters, is about to become a huge star, Dakota. I mean, she's working as an actress now, but now 50 Shades of Grey.
Who knew?
Oh, wow.
Because, well, you know, I have this thing in my family where I say, you're on the payroll if you go to school and you're going to college. If you fail to go to college or anything like that, it's over. You know, get a job. You're on your own. And so
I said the same thing. My son's still going to college. He's 34.
Yeah, there is that problem. I've got one like that. I've got 6 kids, so you've got some work to do. But she's doing this big movie,
50 Shades of Grey, which has got to be massive when it comes out.
I would think so. I mean, it was a big book. It's not something that I would read, but.
I mean, I've never read it either, but I kind of know what it's about. Cheryl, have you read 50 Shades of Grey? When you're on your time off?
I got 16 pages in, that was about it for me.
Wow, and then you were whipped into a frenzy and couldn't read the rest.
Exactly.
No one's going to smack my ass. I'm not paying on it.
I spent a lot of money on it. Nobody's laying a finger on it.
Right, Don Johnson is back in movie theaters next Friday. Your new film, Cold in July. And we were talking about this backstage, because I went to see it. And it's a great buzz about this film. It's played all the festivals, and now it's hitting cinemas. And it's a very hard film to describe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, give it a go.
It's sort of a genre shapeshifter. In other words, it starts out seeming like it's going to be one thing, and then it becomes something else, and then it becomes. Then I come on, and it becomes something completely different.
And it is. We cannot lie. It is bits of it are really dark, but bits of it are really funny as well. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I handle that part.
Yeah. Now, it's all set in the 80s, and I mean, were you kind of an unofficial? Kind of, you know...
No, that's what I said. I mean...
But you invented the 80s. Without you, 1979, 1990. Because when you look at the pictures of you guys in Miami Vice, we think that you were in 80s fashion, but you kind of created these fashions.
Yeah, actually... our costume designer came back from Italy, and she had all of these new designers. Gianni Versace was relatively brand new then. I don't think he had one store. Neither did Giorgio Armani. And she came back, and she's handing out all of this stuff, and, you know, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, these kind of look like pajamas. You know? I mean,
you're kind of right.
Yeah. And so my style there of the T-shirt, no socks, no belt, was a function of how fucking hot it was in Miami. I mean, it wasn't really sort of thought out. It was just organic. I started just removing articles of clothing.
And the movie's called Cold in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have spent time in England then.
The thing was, though, when in the 80s, as you said, you were setting this fashion of no socks, but, you know, we were copying it. We were walking around in November, freezing. Those canvas, what are they called? Desperados or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid, and then balloon pants and jackets up there like that.
Yeah.
God, I spent a lot of my life looking like a dickhead because of you.
Oh, very good.
All right, well, listen, let's revisit the 80s and watch a clip from Cold in July. This is you tracking down a suspect and getting a bit more than you bargained for.
Watch out! What the Jesus? What in the dog shit is wrong with you? Don't you have any mirrors on this damn Pinto? Do you know how to use them? Who's gonna pay for it? We could split it. Oh! You... Hey! You want some of this? Huh? That's for my car. And that's for my hat.
It's really good. So you're an investigator, or a kind of detective, but you are also a pig farmer.
Yeah, I found that interesting, yeah.
Well, you grew up in the country. You must have
I did.
Familiar.
Well, I grew up on the farm, you know, and you see pretty much everything on the farm. And I've known a lot of pigs. Some of them two-legged. She's got a mean streak, I can tell you.
No, I also know some pigs with 2 legs.
But now, what are the chances of this? So you're playing a detective who owns pigs. John Bishop owns a pig.
I don't own a pig. It lives with us.
Oh, OK, sorry.
I had a couple of those, too. They're smart, aren't they?
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's great. We got him from an RSPCA place, and what struck me about it, they talk to you, don't they? He talks to you. So in the morning when you go to see him, he does talk. He talks pig talk.
Depends on what you're smoking.
Yeah. To be fair, with my accent, he probably sounds better than I do.
But where did they find him? Was he just wandering the streets like a stray dog?
He was wandering the streets somewhere in Northampton or something as a baby, and then they kept him for a year and nobody wanted him. And then my wife Melanie saw him on a website. Listen, as that left me mouth, I wish I'd never said it. My wife was trolling pig pictures on a website, yeah. There's nothing wrong with our marriage. And so she ended up asking for him to come to live with us, so he did.
Oh. No. And what, have you got the alpacas yet, or are you getting alpacas?
No, we've got alpacas coming in a couple of weeks. We just went berserk because... we did, because we've moved out to a nice house to the country, and I've got 3 kids, and two of my teenage lads are leaving home in September. They don't know it yet, but they just had enough of them, so they're leaving home. So because of that, Melanie just wants stuff in the house. So we got 8 chickens last week, a couple of guinea fowl, a cockerel, a pig. We've got 4 alpacas coming. A couple of dogs, and I think there's a donkey somewhere as well. Although that might be me. So we've got a little menagerie going on.
Wow. Now, the new tour starts later in the year.
Yeah.
So by the autumn, it'll just be like a lot of alpaca material.
There'll be a lot of I expect a lot of bookings will come from chicken owners, pig owners, and alpaca people. All sat there going, oh, alpacas, aren't they funny?
So, John Bishop's Supersonic Tour, it kicks off in October in Plymouth and runs till December. But you're doing tryout gigs now.
Yeah.
But you must be so brave to do it, because how quickly do you chicken out of new material and just got to go, oh, here's some greatest hits?
Well, no, I don't. The hard thing is about doing stand-up is you can't take time off and go in the studio and then come up with a song. You only know if what's funny in your head is funny when you tell other people.
Exactly.
You can't be on your own, so you have to go and do these warm-up gigs. And there's always a bit of material that I keep trying right through the day until eventually my tour manager says to me, that's shit. Just stop saying it. Nobody laughs at it. And I can't understand why it's not funny. And then there'll always be something I say off the cuff that makes people laugh, and I think, I'll have to keep it in, but I've no idea what they're laughing at. That always happens, but that's what's good about it, the evolution of it.
And here's the thing, after all your, incredible sports relief stuff, the cycling, the rowing, the running, I assumed you were physically broken for the rest of your life. But now for your new show, you are cycling around Australia, which seems...
Oh, for the telly-series, yeah.
You've done this already, haven't you?
Yeah. I went in January. Well, what happened is I wrote an autobiography, and in the autobiography I mentioned that in 1992 I rode a bicycle from Sydney, Australia, back to England. So this before I did this as a job or was in the business or anything. I just didn't want to get married. So I was going out with this girl who wants to get married, and I wanted an excuse not to get married. So I said, I'm going to ride a bicycle from Sydney, Australia, back to Liverpool, and then And then, then when I got back, I married her.
You didn't have any other options?
I couldn't think of anything quick enough. So when I got back, I married her. Because, well, at 10 months on a bike, you'll marry anyone. So I got back, and then I kind of forgot about it and started this other life. And then I wrote the autobiography, and someone in the BBC read it and said, why don't you, as a travelogue, recreate the Australian bit from going from Sydney up the coast to Cairns? Oh, wow. So that's what I did. I travelled on a bicycle and did all the things I couldn't do last time.
It's called John Bishop's Australia, and it starts on 7th of July on BBC One. And we've got a clip of you, and this is you visiting a koala sanctuary. Watch and learn, everyone.
What are you doing now? Doing a swab to test it?
For chlamydia.
And if he's got chlamydia, what would you give him? Antibiotics?
Yeah. See, back to bed.
So, you're not being too crude of it. That gets all tucked away.
See, I'm glad you noticed. Marsupials are back to front from placental mammals, which you are. You have yours round the other way. Koalas have their testicles on top and the penis underneath. And the penis is tucked away nicely for protection. Wouldn't you like that? Nice to tuck it away nicely for protection.
Some people would say that it looks like I have got it tucked away.
She's such a flirt. Such a flirt.
Wow. You would not believe, when you do something for the BBC, you would not believe the amount of emails we had from the commissioners at the BBC about how much of the koala's penis they should show. But I said, you've got to show it, because I'm like everybody else. I'd never seen a koala's penis. And what struck me about it is that nature and God or whoever makes all this stuff obviously looked at a koala, and the first koala's hung on a tree. And every time I've seen a koala hug a tree, I've never thought, ooh, I hope he doesn't get a splinter in his dick. You just don't think that, do you? Because you've never wondered where it was. I thought it was fascinating. I spent most of the day in there just blown away by these people.
They put the balls in the wrong spot, too. They're gonna hug a tree. I mean...
I'm with you, Don. I was thinking, ow.
Yeah. Yeah. How about on his back?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Like earrings.
Yeah.
That is the campest thing I've ever heard you say. Oh, earring.
What are those koala balls?
You mentioned the book. It did really well. It's out in paperback now. How did all this happen? And I don't know if have you seen this picture? So someone was in a bookshop.
Yeah.
And they saw John's book in the bookshop, and they felt they had to take a picture and tweet it because of the section the book... Have you seen this?
No.
The section the book was in the bookshop.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
OK, now, Don, I hope you're ready for some more linguistic challenges, because my next guest is the creator of the most successful new sitcom in years. And now he's made the movie. Please welcome Mrs. Brown herself. It is Brendan O'Carroll! Sit down. Got a drink there. Marvellous. Oh, lovely to see you.
You too.
Yeah, and congratulations on everything.
Thanks very much.
It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
It really is.
Nobody's more amazed than I am. I'm just glad to be fucking working.
Now, Don, are you familiar with Mrs. Brown?
I caught a clip of Mrs. Brown. Very
Thanks
funny.
very much. Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
You cut a striking figure in a
I
dress.
do, don't
yeah.
I? I do. I take the moustache off, because otherwise I look like my mother.
And actually, you are rocking Miami Vice pants.
I am.
Yeah.
I still have the gear.
You
I
did.
wore all the gear in the 70s. I didn't look like a dick like you did.
Are you sure?
I look pretty cool. I thought I looked pretty cool, but I was always a follower. I still have me tartan scarf from Bay City Rollers.
Oh, God love you.
Those were the days.
But now, listen...
I'm enjoying the show so far.
Oh, thank you very much.
Upside down balls, been great. The Americanism's fantastic, and Louis Walsh is a wanker. I love that.
So that's the recap.
That's the recap.
That's the story so far.
Yeah, film and
Previously on the Graham Norton Show. So listen, Mrs. Brown's Boys, it's a sitcom about an Irish housewife and her family.
You're not telling me that, eh?
No, I'm telling Tom. Unless you want to know. But so here's most of the cast now. So a lot of these are relations, aren't they?
Yes, yes.
So,
I'm a firm believer in nepotism.
Yeah, so Grandma, he's just a friend. Granddad's his friend.
Granddad started off as my window cleaner.
Oh, right.
25 years ago. Well, he didn't clean my windows, he was a window cleaner. And one of the first gigs I did was at Rathmines Inn. And one night we were putting the gear in the van and he started carrying out stuff.
He's gone too far.
I could go now. I mean...
That's the first time in my life anyone's looked at me to explain what someone else is saying.
I just think it's hilarious that I need English subtitles on an English show.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Listen, you'll acclimatise. You'll acclimatise.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then your daughter is your wife.
Yes, yes, that gets weird.
Yes.
At home, you know, who's your mommy, who's your mommy, who's your mommy?
And then here's Winnie. Winnie is your sister.
Winnie's my sister. Well, she says she is. There was 11 of us, and I can't remember them all.
Winnie's brilliant in the movie.
She's super, isn't she?
She's great in the movie.
My son plays Buster. That's your dog's name?
Yeah.
There's trivia.
Trivia.
Your family is very large, so the people who aren't in it must be very pissed off.
What do you mean, aren't in the family or aren't in the show?
Aren't in the show.
Fuck them.
Now, Mrs. Brown movie, I'll be lucky enough to see it. And honest to God, you laugh, but you do. I cried. It's really sweet.
Oh, thanks very much.
It's very sweet. It's very funny, and it's what people expect. It's got all the coarse jokes and all the rude jokes.
It's very Irish.
Yeah.
In that you know we don't do just straight comedy in Ireland. We do comedy with pathos. So if you're going to have a bit of fun, you want to go to an Irish funeral. You get all the fun and then we'd all have a cry, and then we'd have a laugh again. So it's that kind of structure to it, you know. I don't think you can have one without the other. But I love that she always lets them... I say she like she's somebody else, I swear to God. I should be wearing my knickers tonight. But she always lets them off the hook. You know, there's a scene on the bridge where that mother-daughter thing.
Yeah,
Well, me too. And I knew it was me in a dress. I'm crying watching it, but that bit at the end where she just, you know, when she says Sophie's Choice and then she lets them off the hook. And I love that.
No, it's very good. And also, for me, I just love it because it's like almost like a love letter to Dublin.
Well, thanks. That's what I intended to do. Look, Ireland's getting a bit of a bad time at the moment. You know, we're getting a bit of bad press about financial things and how things are going, etc. But Dublin is a beautiful city, and it's a really warm city. Thanks very much, Cheryl. And it
Brendan built it.
And Newcastle is one of my favourite places.
If you want... I agreed with you. You didn't say thanks to me.
You get a tattoo like yours on your cock and I will.
I dare you.
But Mrs. Brown, you've talked about Mrs. Brown, how she's been inspired by lots of women growing up that you knew, but particularly your own mom.
Yeah, I mean, when I used to tour America, where you're from? Funny enough, where I live now, and they've no problem understanding me.
That's not true. Come on.
When I tour on the book tours, they'd always ask me the most bizarre questions. And one of the questions they would ask is Mrs. Brown based on your mum? And I used to say no. I used to say, no, she's not, you know. And then I started to realise, actually, she is. My mum was very well educated, thanks to the nun. She was a nun. She started off her life as a nun. Had 11 kids, so obviously she was right to doubt her vocation. But because, thanks to the nun, she got an education. She got a really good and she ended up with a bachelor's degree from Galway University. And I think if Agnes had had that education, Yeah, they would be very similar. Because my mum had that same kind of wisdom. Can I just tell you, I loved touring in America because I can tell them all the lies and they believe them all. No matter, you know, I can tell them about leprechauns in the garden and they actually believe it.
Well, yeah, look at our government. Clearly, they believe anything you tell them.
But I remember once one woman put her hand up and said, "Excuse me, sir? Sir?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Can I ask you a question? What is bollocks?" I said, "Most of what I've been fucking saying for the last 10 minutes." They're the most bizarre people. But my mum...
No offence.
No offence.
None taken.
No offense. You're not really American. You're Don Johnson.
There is that.
That's true. He's the inventor of the 80s. That's what he is.
As you said, 1979, 1990.
But your mom, so 11 kids, a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's...
How did they have sex?
Well, that's
We knew the sign was... My mother used to say, Jerry, that was my dad, "Jerry, I think you need to peel me corn." And of course, we'd all go, "Whoa." And then he went and peeled her corn, and the next thing there was another brother. You know, 11 kids, but she was she was quite an extraordinary woman in that she was a woman's woman. She came out of the convent. She went to teach, and when she married my dad, and she married him only because he could dance, she got fired. Because in Ireland at that time, you couldn't, if you were a civil servant and a married woman, you couldn't work as a civil servant. Wow. So she said, "I'm not having that." She joined the union, changed that law, and then got elected to Parliament, and then became Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, became the Chief Party Whip. She changed a lot of laws.
Fascinating woman.
She was a fascinating woman, and she was, you know, when she retired from politics, she had a few bob. So we were convinced, we're in the lobby, but she didn't. She bought a couple of houses and turned them into a home for battered wives and for homeless children, in which we all volunteered and we all worked in. So it gave us a good grounding to help. No. Give her a round of applause, not me. And she's dead. So don't waste it. She was a powerhouse of a woman, and she was a woman for change, and she taught me something more important than anything else. First of all, don't be afraid. It's one of the reasons I admire Cheryl so much. You're never afraid. You speak your mind, it's a great thing. Fair play to you. She told me never to be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to succeed. Most of all, don't be afraid to try. And it's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. And that goes for money as well.
Listen, Brenda, it's been lovely to talk to you. Lovely to hear about your mom.
Yeah.
The movie is out next Friday.
Yes.
And here's a taste of what to expect.
How do you do? We're looking to get a receipt, and we were told we could get it here.
National Record Service?
Yes. So this is the National Record Service, then?
No, you're through to the wrong building.
Oh. What's this, then?
Hello?
Hello.
National Record Service.
Excuse me. Listen very carefully. Is this the National Record Service?
Yes, this is the National Record Service.
So we get the receipt here, then?
Hold on, please.
Okay.
Okay, what?
We're holding on.
For what?
You're going to show us where to get the receipt.
National Record Service.
Listen, that face. How do I see the actual receipts? Get your frickin' hands off me! I have 4 sons.
Now what?
I don't know. We have to get in there.
Maybe if you disguise yourself.
Disguise?
Yeah. You could disguise yourself as a man.
No, Winnie, I'd never get away with it.
There you go. Right. Time for our musical guest tonight. She was a pretender, and after 35 years in the music business, she's finally released her first solo album to rave reviews, performing her current single, You or No One. Please welcome Chrissie Hynde!
Turning, feels like spelling out your name. Oh, that's what I call fame. Oh, spelling out your name forever and ever. Love is a hurting thing, never goes away. Forever is a long time to wait for you to say. I just wanna be with you always, wanna be around you always, just wanna be with you. Oh, no one thinking if you, oh, no one, please stay, never go away, please stay, never go away. Just wanna be with you, wanna be around you, just wanna be with you. Oh, no one, you always wanna be around you always, just wanna be with you. Oh, no one, every day you. Oh, no one. Just wanna be with you, oh, no one. You, oh, no one. Just wanna be with you, oh, no one. Thinking of you, oh, no one.
Come and join me, dude. Beautiful job. Hey. Thank you. Chrissy Hine. That's a John Bishop. How are you?
Long time. No see.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. What? So, now, who do you know? Do you know Don Johnson?
We've met.
Have we?
Yeah.
Did we?
Well, I met you.
Oh, the 80s. They were
Explains a
so
lot.
fun. Now, here's the thing. So, Stockholm, the new album, which I just have... Someone was saying to me, oh, is this Chrissy Hine's first solo album? I was going, oh, don't be stupid. Of course it's not. But it is.
Well, kind of, yeah. It didn't intend to be, but the guys that I made it with wouldn't leave their studios and their wives and their other bands to be in a band with me, so I got kind of...
So it is your record, but
It is now, yeah.
You must be thrilled with it. It's a great record.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it. Thanks.
Yeah. No, well, it's had great reviews and great responses, haven't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, you don't read your own stuff, surely.
Trust me. They're
Yeah.
very,
Okay.
yeah. Trust me. But that is the single. And I've read things you've written, really such sweet things about owning dogs. So is that song about owning a dog?
The song we just did, well, kind of. It's about sort of unconditional love. And when I spoke to the fellow that was doing the video, he goes, well, why don't we get an old couple, you know, because it says, be with you forever. And I said, well, that doesn't, I'm not really sure if I can relate to that. How about getting a guy and a dog? And there you go.
No, and they sent me the video, and they said, oh, look at that dog. Look at that dog. It's beautiful.
It was the fellow's dog, actually. I didn't meet him, but that was his dog.
And actually, that's the other great thing about the video. You didn't have to do anything.
Oh, you know, I've been in so many videos, and it's always a disaster. I said, get a real dog.
Stop it, you.
What's good about that? It is an example of how you begin to look like your pet.
I didn't know Louis Walsh had a dog.
Whoa! Oh, Cheryl, let it go. Just put it in a Louis Walsh balloon and let it go. Listen, we've no time for red chairs, so ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all my guests tonight. Chrissy Hine! John Bishop! John Johnson! Cheryl Cole! And Brendan and Carol! And that is it for this series, but do join us next week for a look back at some of the highlights of the year so far. We'll be back in the autumn. Till then, have a great summer. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.